Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu yang sudah berkenan untuk menghadiri Sage Workshop How to Publish Journal Article. Perkenalkan saya Deden Ramdhani dari iGroup Indonesia yang saat ini berkesempatan untuk menjadi MC untuk acara ini. Baik, sebelum kita memulai acara, mari kita berdoa terlebih dahulu dengan agama masing-masing supaya acara ini diberikan kelancaran oleh Tuhan Yang Maha Esa. Berdoa dimulai. Baik, terima kasih. Yang saya hormati Ibu Lulu Triwulandari M.Hum selaku Kepala Perpustakaan Universitas Indonesia dan tim. Yang saya hormati Mutiara Khairiyah, Ibu Mutiara Khairiyah dari Sage Library Sales Executive Vietnam, Indonesia, dan Philippines. Yang saya hormati Dr. Lee Kim Hyang, Senior Manager Partner Success and Customer Relations Asia Pacific. Baik, terima kasih kepada Bapak Ibu yang telah meluangkan waktunya untuk menghadiri acara ini. Semoga dengan acara ini kita bisa lebih memahami bagaimana caranya kita menulis artikel di Sage Publishing. Begitu. Untuk acara selanjutnya adalah sambutan dan sekaligus membuka acara ini kepada yang terhormat Ibu Lulu Triwulandari M.Hum, kami persilakan.
Baik, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, Rahayu. Bapak Ibu, hari ini saya mengucapkan terima kasih banyak dan selamat datang kepada Sage Publishing dan juga kepada Mr. Lim Ki Hyang. Terima kasih, thank you very much for coming here. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu semua. Di sini terdiri dari dosen juga ya, tenaga pengajar, mahasiswa S3 kalau saya lihat ya, yang juga sering hadir di sini nih. Terima kasih di acara workshop How to Publish Journal Article. Memang hubungan perpustakaan UI dengan Sage ini juga cukup sudah lama ya, sekitar 15 tahun kami melanggan online database dan memang kemarin kita saat ini jeda sebentar dulu ya Pak, jeda sebentar melanggannya. Mudah-mudahan mohon bantuan peserta semua juga yang di sini yang hadir online, kita ada mungkin ada anggaran lagi untuk mengadakan, dan kami berharap juga di sini kegiatan ini memang kita harapkan juga agar UI ini kan punya tagline unggul impactful. Salah satu caranya agar penelitian apa yang ditulis oleh Civitas Akademika UI ini menjadi impactful adalah dengan dipublish di artikel jurnal yang kemudian nanti bisa disitir, di cite, atau kemudian juga bisa diterapkan di model penerapannya, dan itu salah satunya adalah dengan dipublish di artikel. Nah, ini adalah salah satu prosesnya. Dan kami berharap ini bisa menjadi salah satu sumbangsih ya. Ini adalah peran dan support dari Perpustakaan UI untuk mengaplikasikan ini semua. Dan juga dari sini kita juga berharap bahwa di Sage ini juga memang banyak sekali artikel-artikel dan sebagainya bisa di download dan sebagainya ya. Jadi reference, dan memang tenang gitu ya ketika kita memang jeda sebentar untuk subscribe atau langganan, tapi kita masih punya backdate. Bapak Ibu juga bisa melihat data backdate Sage di link ya web perpustakaan UI, dan ini terima kasih juga karena dari Sage juga menyediakan backdate tersebut. Dan harapannya kegiatan ini juga selain diikuti secara offline, kemarin yang daftar itu ada sekitar 300-an. Yang ini yang datang sudah sekitar 60-an ya sudah hadir, kemudian ada 70 online. Kita beri applause juga untuk panitia. Terus dulu untuk panitia. Terima kasih juga atas upayanya ya. Mudah-mudahan di sini Bapak Ibu ketika disampaikan nanti oleh Mr. Lim ini bisa menanyakan secara lebih teknis mungkinnya bagaimana sih untuk publish di Sage, kemudian ketika ada kendala-kendala dan mungkin bagus kalau Bapak Ibu sudah punya apa namanya artikelnya yang sudah siap. Mudah-mudahan bisa ada yang dari sini kita outputnya harapannya memang yang hadir secara offline dan online ini kita bisa ada output yang memang bisa apa di ini ya dipublish di artikel Sage ini. Baik, mungkin itu dari saya. Sekali lagi memang di perpustakaan UI ada lagi kegiatan-kegiatan. Nanti silakan di sini bisa follow. Ada yang belum follow IG-nya perpustakaan UI? Bapak Ibu sudah follow belum? Sudah? Ada yang belum? Sekalian promosi saya ya, saat ini IG Perpustakaan UI sudah 32.000 dan kita berharap bisa nambah lagi, tapi mudah-mudahan dengan nambah ini kita bisa memberikan informasi ya kegiatan-kegiatan yang dilaksanakan. Sekali lagi terima kasih banyak pada Sage, pihak Sage semua, Perpustakaan UI dan Bapak Ibu baik offline ataupun online. Terima kasih dengan ini kegiatan workshop Sage How to Publish Article saya buka.
Baik, terima kasih Ibu Lulu Triwulandari untuk membuka acara ini. Demi menyingkat waktu, kita akan langsung lanjut ke acara inti, yaitu workshop, Sage Workshop How to Publish Journal Article. Saat ini yang akan menjadi moderator yaitu Ibu Mutiara Khoiriah. Beliau adalah Library Sales Executive Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines untuk Sage. Dan pembicara kita pada hari ini adalah Dr. Lim Ki Hyang, Senior Managers, Partner Success and Customer Relationship untuk Asia Pasifik. Untuk pembicara ini, untuk waktu workshop kurang lebih antara 60 menit plus sekitar 30 menit untuk question and answer. Jadi saya harap kita bisa lebih efektif dalam penyampaiannya sehingga kita bisa selesai dengan tepat waktu. Baik, supaya tidak you will have around 60 minutes or 60 to 90 minutes to do a workshop, ya, yeah, to do a workshop plus the question and answer. Oke, tanpa berbasa-basi lagi saya lanjutkan kepada Ibu Mutiara Khoiriah. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam kebajikan untuk Bapak dan Ibu dan juga rekan-rekan baik yang sudah hadir secara offline maupun secara online. Sekali lagi kami juga ingin berterima kasih banyak kepada Perpustakaan Universitas Indonesia yang sudah memberikan kesempatan pada pagi ini untuk kita bisa berkumpul dan juga saling berbagi terkait dengan how to publish journal articles. Sebelum masuk ke sesi, tadi ada titipan dari tim perpustakaan untuk kita mengambil sesi foto bersama terlebih dahulu. Jadi mungkin boleh dari tim perpustakaan. Baik, terima kasih banyak untuk Bapak dan Ibu yang sudah turut serta dalam sesi foto tadi. Selanjutnya tanpa berlama-lama lagi, saya ingin memperkenalkan pembicara pada hari ini yaitu Dr. Lim Ki Hyang. Beliau sudah punya banyak sepak terjang dalam hal publikasi artikel. Kemudian juga sebelum bekerja di Sage Publishing, beliau pernah bekerja untuk Clarivate di bagian Web of Science. So, jadi kalau Bapak dan Ibu punya pertanyaan terkait dengan indexing dan sebagainya, boleh ditanyakan di dalam sesi tanya jawab nanti. Sesi hari ini akan dilakukan menggunakan bahasa Inggris, namun ketika nanti sudah masuk di dalam sesi tanya jawab, Bapak dan Ibu bisa menggunakan bahasa Indonesia, kemudian nanti akan saya bantu untuk terjemahkan. Tanpa berlama-lama lagi, saya berikan kesempatan untuk Dr. Lim.
Selamat pagi. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, first of all, I want to thank the chief librarians as well as my colleagues here, as well as all of you, the professors, the researchers, okay, our students, okay, like master or PhD students for coming to today's sessions. I understand that as a researchers, we're all running a very busy and tight schedules, right? I sincerely appreciate your time here to be here, okay, allow Sage to be able to share with you some of the good practices, okay, about what we are going to cover in order to do how to publish a good journal articles. This itself actually cover quite substantially, okay, regarding from the very first, I would say, how you select journals until you do a practical, I would say, applications, and then some of the database that currently the library has already subscribed, and I want to introduce to you so that after I continue my trips to somewhere, at least you have a very good handful of resources to continue. So that is actually one of the main objectives. But I understand the fact that we are also a lot of us, okay, just like, we are doing research, but today's researchers are different from the researchers previously. The researchers today, right, you are starting to use, okay, a very amazing tools that are helping you, okay, the ChatGPTs, okay. So, well, in my time, I don't have that, okay. So I'm still using the, what you call that? The grammar checking, functions in the Words document, all right? So I'm very happy, okay, taking care of my plural, singular, forget about the M, forget about the American or the British spelling, right? But now you have something better, much better. However, to use that, we need to be very careful. Because if you are using the ChatGPT to know, okay, what are the good food in Jakarta, no problem. at most, okay, they lead you to the wrong place, the shop is not there, or maybe it doesn't matter because it's for leisure. But if you want to use ChatGPT for research purposes, then it's different because we are doing a serious research work, right? So everything needs to be substantiated with a credible source. Later, I'm going to highlight to you what are the important informations that we need to take care, okay? I think I'm speaking faster and faster. okay. I apologize that, okay, I'm using my Singapore accent. Okay, but by the way, just like Mutiara has mentioned, if there's anything that you think that you want me to slow down, you want me to re-highlight or re-emphasize the importance of the explanation of the part of the content, do let me know. Feel free just to raise your hand. Okay, we want to make the sessions to be more interactive. I want you to follow me very closely so that right at the end of the day, I want all of you to take back something, all right, beneficial for your research purposes. Yeah? Okay, so are we all good? I'm going to share my slides. So, to benefit our user from the online session as well, share. Yeah, share. Yep, it's up. Yeah, so I've already gone through basically I've already gone through the, I've already gone through the, yeah, oh, it's an LED screen. So my laser pointer is not going to work. Okay, so I cannot tell you I'm referring to, but basically, okay, these are the agenda for today's. Okay, it actually go beyond what we are going to cover, but okay, I pick and choose. I think these are the important and relevant informations that all of us as a researcher should know. But I will ensure that, okay, you still take back something about how to write journal articles. That is about selecting the right journals and what are the tips. Okay, now the very first thing, okay, that I want to cover is of course about the Sage journal. Okay, to many of you, I believe that, okay, Sage Journal is not something new to all of you, right? So literally, right, when we talk about a journal database, be it today about the Sage Journal or maybe other databases, right, what you all usually do is that it is a journal database. So as a researcher, the first thing come to my mind, or even if you go to Google Scholar, the first thing that come to my mind would be, I throw in a keywords, right? And then I look for the title, abstracts, right? Before you even decide whether you want to download the article, right? Once you download the article, if you find it relevant, then what would you do? You will save keep inside your reference management software, right? Something like that, okay? It can be EndNote, it can be Zotero, right? Now, you save keep, okay? And this is a practice I would say is important for researchers, okay? Please, once you save keep, because it takes effort to capture the metadata, or we say the bibliographic information to be inside there. So when you come to writing your papers, they will do the auto formatting, because all journals, they are not 100% friends. Why I say that? Because they have different requirements when it comes to formatting your paper. Some of them will want you to have the Chicago style, some of them will want to have a Vancouver style, some of them will want to have an MLA styles, right? The referencing. So you just, if you started to use your reference management software, then very quickly you can format your paper easily when you are about to write your articles. But before that, it takes some time to build the database. What database? For your own research papers. You understand or not? So you refer to a group of research articles, and then slowly you build upon it. Okay, you don't wait until the last minute, because you are not going to remember what are the articles that you have saved and download them, right? Of course, you can say, can I print them? Well, if you choose to print them, you can. But at the end of the day, you don't write on paper, right? Now, you type using a computer and you're going to do the formatting quickly. And most important is that if today you have chosen a journal A for publications, they tell you the formatting style can be Chicago. Then suddenly you make a decision, say, I'm going to switch it to journal B. Well, you can, as long as you have not submitted. Then they say the formatting style is Vancouver. How? So in that situation, the best is, of course, to just use a reference management software to reformat. Having said that, that is a lot of people having that understanding as if a journal database can only do search, read, save, that's all. You understand or not? Okay. But what Sage Journal can really do for you is actually beyond. They can also help you in terms of discovery, published, follow, as well as promote. Okay, so what I'm trying to highlight to you today, right, is going to be talk about the important other features that what we usually understand about a journal database. And I highlight them in red color because that's all I'm going to talk with you today. Today, we are not doing a basic training per se. Okay, you click here, you click here, you click here. It's not going to be beneficial. But what will benefit you is that once you grab the concept right, everything becomes so simple. Because all the database of today are designed so simple and so straightforward, the fact that all of us are able to do it and navigate through ourselves. Okay, that is the reason why I want to highlight things that maybe we may have overlooked. So the things that we want to consider is the most read, the most cited, the trending, and the sort by and citing article. So allow me to introduce one very important concept, that how we discover all the relevant papers that we need within the shortest possible time. And that actually fall under the concept of citation. Okay, citasi. Right, so citation always built on the very simple things that we all doing it day in, day out. So when you read an article that's relevant to you, after I complete reading the article, I will always refer to the references, right? You know why? References are one of the most important sections where it actually relates your current research, okay, basis or findings to the previous research. So today, if you are asking yourself, right, how can I do a very effective literature search? How can I find all the paper that's relevant to a particular research of my need? Very simple. Identify a few papers that's directly relevant to you, then go straight into the reference list. Save your efforts quite tremendously, to be honest, okay? Because when a person publishes his or her paper, it has to go through the peer review process. The reviewer, who are supposed to be expert, has already confirmed all these references support the development of the current paper you are referring. So in other words, right, they are all closely linked. You understand or not? Okay, what the paper built upon maybe or likely is something that you should know as well. Number one. Then the number two part is that what about the future citation? If today you say, okay, I have a paper that published in 2025 January, so it doesn't have much of citation, fair enough. Then it just doesn't have, because nobody have time to cite it and get published yet. That's why it's not being captured. But if today we refer to an article in 2021, 4 years ago, it has already have enough time frame for it to receive the citation. This is the time where you need to pay attention, because a research point, they stand here. But what is the next development could be on the left, on the right, on the front. Okay, we do not know which directions they are going, right? And maybe your research want to build upon is towards the left. So you need to actually pay attention to the citation coming towards this direction, but not to the other. Make sense? So from there, for the future citation, similarly, you are going to capture, okay, all the related information very quickly without even going back to the database. So once you identify the paper, it's easier for you to identify a handful. That means 20, 50 journal article all linked together related to your papers. Okay, so literally, right, this is, if you are able to grab the concept of citations, right, it will actually save your effort tremendously in terms of identifying all the literatures that's relevant. Makes sense now? Yes, okay. Number 2, okay, we do have the most cited, most read, and trending and sort by. Now, most read means that what are the articles that's most being downloaded, okay, but not in a small scale, but in a global perspective. So what happened here is that when a particular article is being downloaded heavily, global, by the community, the research community, it shows that that paper is somehow captured a lot of attention. Either something very interesting, the finding has been discovered, or everybody is trying to pay attention to that paper, right? We don't download paper for fun, right? Do we? Huh? Everybody look at me. Seriously, are we to download paper for fun? No, right? Okay. Okay, paper can be quite dry, boring to read, right? Only the relevant papers we download and then we save, keep, right? To be honest, even we download many papers because they are easily accessible, open access, doesn't mean we'll read all of them, right? Sometimes you read the abstract, then you jump to the conclusion, not relevant, okay, keep aside. Am I right? Okay. So you may download 200 papers and you may actually only use 80 of them. It's normal, okay? If you are not like that, then something wrong, okay? Okay, so I'm a researcher before, okay? So I understand how you all also work, okay? How I skim through all the paper. Difficult to understand, you know, sometimes, because every researcher have their own way of writing. Okay, I won't go too deep into it, but I want to highlight to you the fact that, okay, everybody, if you want to write a paper, always remember very important rule. You write for the audience. Okay, you write for the audience whom you want to target. Let me highlight. You write for the audience whom you want to target. Meaning to say, right, I don't write for myself to read. I write for someone else to read. Okay, when I write to someone else to read, don't assume everybody know your jargons. Jargons means all the difficult keywords that you use. Okay, you doing the research for 2 to 3 years, you know the keyword so well. You memorize by heart, but not other people. So when they skim through your paper, they don't know what you are talking. They are literally writing for your own reading, but it defeats the purpose. You are writing for somebody else. So how to capture people's attention become very important. Okay, so I'm like touching a little bit between the journal selection and the writing skills. So I hope that you actually pick up this. So you have to always remember your audience. Your audience are most important. They are the one who make decision later to cite your paper or not. If they don't even understand, forget about citing your paper. Understand or not? They may happily keep your paper aside. Then you miss your citation opportunity, and therefore you miss your visibility opportunity. Of course, I can continue to talk along this line, talk about visual abstracts, infographic. If you talk about visual abstract, meaning to say, right, abstract is abstract, right? A paragraph of word. Now we understand the fact that when you have a paragraph of words, right, sometimes it can be easier to turn your paragraph of words into a visual, appealing things. Understand or not? Okay, you turn the entire concept into a visual, but of course that will require some kind of photo shoot, okay, skills okay. But as it's getting common and more common, okay, I will leave it to you all, okay, to explore what are the tools that you are able to find and then turn into a visual abstract. Visual abstract not only allows you to actually immediately captures your reader's attention, more importantly, many of us are using social media, right? Then the moment you can post this, into a social media is also helped tremendously. Okay, understand? So I'm just giving you tips about writing and capture attention. But let's not go too deep into it. Then we can talk about the, okay, let's say the most cited article. Now I want to raise the concept between the most cited as well as most download. Most download means that, remember we say a lot of people download your paper, but it doesn't mean that they will cite your article. They just download, but it captures a certain types of attention. Right? Nobody is going to just download for fun because, as I told you already, it's a very serious, I would say, discovery, and it can be very dry. However, citations comes in as an official acknowledgement that your article has contributed to the development of the next paper, right? And this acknowledgement don't come in so fast. If you publish a paper in January, okay, then you wait for people to discover, let's say like lucky enough, by February, people discover, save it. People refer it to do research for another year before even able to write an article. Go through the peer review process, very lucky, 3 months got accepted. Only then your paper got 1 citation. Understand or not? So citation comes in quite slow. But if a paper still get a lot of high citation, then it shows a few things. Number one, okay, it shows an official acknowledgement or contribution towards the next development. And number two, it also shows that if the citation comes in, that means that a 2004 article gets cited immediately this year, it means that the field are actually moving very fast. Okay, somehow social science, they move slow. Okay, it's just a research discipline behavior, no right and wrong. Okay, so just pay attention to that. Okay, the next thing that of course we can talk about is about, I want to highlight is about the number 3, the published. We have a lot of article metrics, author gateway, journal recommender, as well as Sage Path, which later I will mention. Okay, they are amazing tools for you to actually use after this, and they are all free. They are all free, okay? These are the tools where you will be able to identify, for example, the citation metrics. You are able to identify the respective impact factors of the journal, and the metrics include what are the submission times to wait before they first reply to you, and what are those we saw the acceptance ratio. That means that among a journal, how many % of the articles submitted got accepted? If you think this is relevant to you. Okay, then what about those about the author gateway, journal recommender? Now, later as we go along, journal recommender is an amazing tool. Help you to make a decisions among the few journals that you want to select, but you're not sure which one I must submit, right? In that situation, they will recommend a few for you, okay, to take away your headache. Okay, you don't have to worry about if I cannot make the right decisions and which one is more suitable for me. Now, having said that, right, okay, just to, because of the setting, I cannot really go back to the computer, click here, click that. Okay, I want you all to understand that the features, okay, for the most read, most cited trending, they are all on our journal homepage. So if you go to a Sage journal, you identify a journal, and then you just go to the journal homepage, all the most cited, most read, trending collections video are all there. If you happen to go to the, or we call that the, a particular article, and then you go to the article metrics, then you'll be able to see the out metrics, and you can see the citation. That means the future citations. Okay, they are all captured by the Web of Science. Okay, we based on the citation from Web of Science. And I will encourage all of you to follow the article as well. Whenever a new citations come in, then you will receive an alert. This will actually keep you up to date about the latest development of the paper to ensure that, okay, you do not miss out. Okay, the new citations come in. Always remember this point. While you are working on your own research hardworkingly, okay, somebody else in the world may be also working along a similar field, and you want to monitor their development. You are in competition with them, and you do not know who got to publish first. Okay, as long as they publish first, then you better refer. But if your whatever your discovery are so close to yours, then what is your novelty in terms of contribution, right? So that's always the reviewer will look upon, right? So that's the reason why we always need to follow the citations. That means the future citations and alert become very important. Okay. Now, this access sharing is an amazing tool. This access sharing is about a sharing tools that, okay, we have already built in for quite a couple of years, but I'm not very sure whether all of you are aware. Now, when we attend a conference, when you attend a conference and you want to promote your own paper, all right, do you actually download your paper and then go to distribute if your paper is not open access, go open access? You can't do that, you can't do that, okay, because it's a subscription. Unless the person has the access to that particular article from the library, then they can actually download themselves. So what you can do is this: if your, I would say the new researchers whom you met during a conference or a meeting, you don't have access to that particular paper, what you can do is that you use the access sharing, right? They will generate a link for you, right? That link will give you 90 days in an EPUB format where you can actually share with everybody, strangers, okay, who are of a similar interest without any penalty. You understand? Okay, so this is an amazing rules because as we go to the conference, right, usually we are going to also to post it on our social media, especially for the paper that you're just accepted in Sage Journal. You can actually promote yourself in your social media. So you're not going to actually attach, I mean, social media cannot do attachment, but at least you cannot even give a link from Sage to actually download the paper. But if you're using access sharing, right, you are able to actually let your papers to be visible to another person within 90 days in an EPUB version. That kind of like promote your articles tremendously, right? So I hope that this is the features that you all will use it up and help you, okay, in terms of writing. Okay, so now we really go into the very first topic about how you select the right journal. I need to give you a highlight about the features because these are the amazing features as a researchers I don't have while I was doing my research. I hope that you all will benefit from now, not only about in promoting your papers, but also your visibility, etc. Okay, so now we talk about the journal selection process. Today, okay, the entire selection process actually range across a very lengthy process. However, we shall only focus on the number 3, and number 4, write your article and submit your papers. This itself, right, is actually already need a lot, I would say, considerations, okay, or key points when we consider about that. So what we are going to do now is that when choosing a journal, why it is so important? Before you even write an article, okay, it is good to make a decision more or less, okay, what are the journal types that you would like to select? Because once you know the journal, you will write accordingly to the journal requirements, fit into the style, and it may impact your subsequent publications metrics, right? So that's the reason why choosing a journal could be considered as a first step, okay? Now, the first thing, of course, we have a lot of things to consider. Here are the metrics, so I will cover them as part 1 and part 2, all right? And we will cover the very first part, which is the very first one, about the aim and scope of the journal. Go to the journal homepage, there's always, they will tell you the description and the aim and scope, all right? This is very important because we are targeting for our potential readers. Remember, it will link back to the to your own users, whereby only your own potential readers will be interested in your article. Okay, not everyone will just cite your paper for the sake of citing. Even if they want to do so because they are my good friends, the reviewer will stop the process by kicking, say, hey, you don't cite this paper, it's totally irrelevant, right? So that's the reason why, right, citing the first paper is very important. Now, you may find this actually a bit crazy. Huh? You mean that people submitting without reading the aim and scope? I say, oh yeah, it happens. Because many reviewers from Sage, now we are holding more than 1,000 journals, right, under Sage Journal platform. Many of the reviewers told us, not reviewer, editors, they say that people submit the paper without even knowing what is our scope of coverage. So what do? That's reject. It really happens, It may sound crazy, but it really happened. At first, I was thinking, hey, how can that be? They said, yeah, it's true. So that's the reason why sometimes rejection rate also include this. So don't be too particular about the rejection ratio. You understand? Because there are people who don't read. The reason is because, for example, this example, journal of management, don't you find it's very broad? Management itself is very broad, right? So if I say, if I'm studying on leadership, can I or can I not submit? If I'm talking about organization structure, can I or can I not submit? You need to read into the description. Understand? They will tell you specifically whether they are relevant or not relevant. Okay, so that's the reason why reading into it becomes very important. Okay, so if you assume that leadership definitely covered in this journal of management, well, you may be wrong. Okay, so that's the reason why read into the description becomes very important. Okay, number 2, does it have a very strong editorial, okay, a member of committee or publication ethics? These are the things that we also need to kind of like pay attention, because a strong editorial will allow the journal to go a long way, okay? I'm sure some of you are here, or the professors here, okay, when you are long enough in your field, you will notice that some of the good journals, okay, they are there for many years, and their impact factors is improving over the years, if not at least maintained. Okay, but there are some journals, right? You know, after some time, the journal impact factors keep dropping, or they may even lose their impact factors, and worse still, some of them may even change title or even stop publishing. You understand or not? Okay, so that's the reason why if you want to publish in a journal article, you hope that it has a strong editorial to ensure the long standing of the journal so that your paper don't get halfway after published. Then they say, oh, you know, the journal actually stopped publication. So then in the end, right, I'm not sure how it will affect you in the long run, but that could be an undesirable outcome. Right? And not only that, a strong editorial board will also ensure that particular journal to be listed or indexed in those abstract and indexing database, such as Web of Science, such as Scopus. Okay, Web of Science and Scopus, right, is actually what we call the abstract indexing database. They are not a full text database. Sage Journal is a full text database where you find your paper, you download the full text. Web of Science is not. Web of Science is that they index many publishers. Okay, then when you throw in the keyword, based on the keyword, they help you to do the search, okay, across different publishers. Then they will give you a set of results all relevant to your needs. Then you pick and choose what is relevant from different publishers as your first step. Okay, then from there, you link back to the full text of the publisher website and get the full text. Okay, depend on the library subscription. Okay, that is actually the normal process. But before your paper get listed into the Web of Science and Scopus have a stringent selection criteria. Okay, based on their editorial board. If the editorial board have a very weak or very shaky, then they won't be even eligible to be indexed in this database. And that's the reason why if you choose your paper to publish in a journal that's not listed in this kind of international indexing database, literally, right, your outreach will be very limited. Okay, because a lot of libraries will subscribe to this database in order to help their researcher to do a discovery as a first step. Without this, right, literally your paper is non-searchable unless the library have a particular subscription to that particular publishers. Make sense? Okay, so choosing a one editorial strong, I would say, journal become also very important. Okay, the next one is of course about impact factors. Okay, okay, very common. All right, when you publish a paper, maybe a common question people will ask: does it have an impact factors? What is the number of impact factors? Now, nothing wrong. All of us understand that number, the bigger the merrier, right? Right, the bigger the merrier. Okay, then the next phobia, the higher, the more difficult. Okay, actually not very true. Not very true. You know why? The number, okay, so I need you all to understand what is the number mean. Okay, the number means what? You see, number is a game, you know. You want 100 marks or you want 1 marks? 100 marks, right? Who wants 1 marks, right? Okay. But you run ranking number 1 or you want ranking 100? 1. So you see, it's actually a number game. It depends on the context, right? In terms of ranking, you want the smallest number. In terms of full mark, you want the largest number. So same here, you must understand the context in order to interpret impact factors. So impact factor, you thought the bigger the merrier. However, you have the concept, the higher, the more difficult. Yes and no, depends. Okay, the reason is because, number one, we must understand what this number means. This number means here, for this example, 9.3, it means here, if I manage to publish an article in this journal, which has an impact factors of 9, okay, it shows that on average in 2 years' time, the chances or the probability of my article getting a citation is 9 times. Okay, so this is a very important concept. It shows the chances of getting the citation, the chances. I didn't say confirm. Okay, because on the article, on the journal over a 2-year period, they got so many articles, citable items. Some of them higher than 9, some of them lower than 9. On average, all articles got 9 times citation. Naturally, the higher the better. However, okay, this number developed further. Now, you compare the material reviews versus the trauma, violence, and abuse, you will notice that 16.8 versus 5.4, which one is better? Again, we say, oh, the higher the better. So we're like, oh, okay, why not 16.8? Don't go for 5.4. It's 3 times better than the other one. The answer may not be true, okay? Because you look into that. That one is in a multidisciplinary material science. Out of 438, it ranked 24. But the other, the trauma one, okay, for the social work, out of 91, it ranked number 1. So What does it conclude? It is discipline dependent. Okay, you want to compare among the same discipline, then you can compare, okay, the ranking. But if it is out of the discipline, fair enough, you don't compare across. So an engineering, don't compare with a social science, all right? And then, right, and arts and humanities, don't compare with education because we are not comparable. Is that right and wrong? Nothing wrong. It's just that every research discipline have their citation behavior and pattern, okay? So I hope I make it clear, okay? So don't be deceived by this number, okay? Because it's just a number. What does it really reflect become very important. Okay, so now, okay, basically on top of 2 years impact factors, we also have 5 years impact factors and what is so-called the journal citation indicators. Now, very, very important, as a general rule, most of the SCM, the citations comes in very quickly. 2 years is enough to see the citation peak. But for social science, because social science behavior, they take longer time to reflect, and therefore a 5 years impact factor is more reflective. So depend on your field of study. You choose whether you want to use a 2 years as your reference or a 5 years as a reference to make more sense out of it. Okay, so there's no one fixed rule, blanket all of them. All right, so let's get the concept right. Journal citation indicator, if you want me to actually explain a little bit further, this is what is so-called the normalized, mathematics normalized. So you, on a broad term, if we normalize everything to be the average of 1, anything above 1 is have an impact beyond the normal. Below 1, that means you have an impact less than the normal. Simple as that. Okay, so this will actually help you to determine whether a journal, all right, is the one that's suitable for your current needs. Okay, so once you select the right journal, then you further down, okay, delve into the next one. Do I need to actually select an open access or a subscription journal? I want to bring a few concepts about the open access, okay, as well as subscription journal. In Sage, right, okay, I would say that, okay, again, concept, okay, we always think that Go open access, okay, is free to download, right? And therefore, a lot of people will download. It's true, actually it's true. When it's very accessible, because even people Google Scholar it, Google it, okay, then use Google Scholar, they will find it, and it's free to download. Naturally, the download rate will be high. When people keep your paper, at least people will browse through, maybe they find something interesting, they will start to refer to cite it. So the citation pattern is going to be increased, and the chances of getting citation or exposure is going to increase as well. Nothing wrong. However, is the quality is similar like those kind of subscribe paywall journal? Answer is definitely yes. If you have to bear in mind, it's only a publishing model between a traditional journal and a Go open access. All right. In a publishing framework, we have author who write the paper, we have publisher who help to productions, and we have a reader. Traditionally, author, okay, my time, 20 years ago, author submit for free. All right. And then publisher will process the paper, distribute to all of you, and then the library will pay and subscribe, and then you all can read it freely. All right. So who pay? Readers pay. OA model is this way. We now change it to author pay. Some people will ask me, very funny, I write, I pay. But don't worry, because you are funding this publication cost so that your paper becomes free to read everywhere else in the world. So you have the option to choose either or. But the selection, I say the reviewing process are equally very stringent. Right? So it doesn't mean that this one I pay, it got be very easy to publish. No such thing. If they tell you you pay and or just accept because you pay, then you probably fall into a scam. Predatory journals. Okay, I want to say that. Okay, then in that situation, right, be extra careful. Later, I will have a slide on that. This is something that you don't want to fall. All right, because a real journal, okay, even if it's Go open access, the criteria of selections are very, very stringent as those subscribed journal, right? They are not even lesser, right? They can be produced of good quality articles. It's just a publication mode. Okay, I want to highlight, okay, it's just a publishing mode. Why? Due to the funders' mandate, funders' requirement. The concept is very simple. Funders say, I take taxpayer money, I fund your project. Now your project confined on discovery. Why must the user, which is our public, pay again to read? right? So they want you to contribute back to the public because they are the one who fund you the money. You understand or not? So they give you a mandate. So today we have all the professors here. Maybe students usually don't go into this challenge. It's the professor that headache. When you write your proposal, okay, you need to, if the funders require you to publish only in the open access article, and then you will actually make an estimation of the project. How many papers do you expect to be written? All right. If you think 3 to 5, then make sure you ask for 5 article processing charge. Okay, because Go open access will require you to pay. Does it make sense? Okay, then that's where you need to actually include that into your funding proposal as well to request for the money. Does it make sense? Okay, and then having said that, right? In other words, right? Okay, open access here we really refer to Go. Okay, I don't want to go too deep because it will confuse you. Actually, open access has many concepts. The green color, gold color, bronze color, platinum. We have many different color, okay? But today we shall only focus on the gold, all right? Gold, it means that every single paper in that journal have to be open access, okay? The traditional journal, theoretically, all the papers are locked, right? You pay, then you read. However, here comes a dilemma, difficult time for the researcher. They say, okay, now I take public funding. They say, you must publish in OA. I said, okay. Then I produce my research and I'm going to publish. But when I'm going to publish, what will happen is the best journal I wanted to publish is a traditional journal. It's not open access. So you get me or not? Okay, they forced me to be open access, but I choose the best journal, which is not open access. I'm stuck. So what they will do is that you can still publish in the best journal, but you only pay for your article. Then among this journal, all the article, only your paper become open access. And we call that hybrid journal. Okay, that means you have a lock, open access, lock, open access, lock. So you have a combination of all these. And that explains why sometimes when you browse through a journal database, how come some people open, some of them lock, some of them open, some of them lock? That's what we call hybrid. It's getting very common nowadays due to the funders' mandate. And we want to ensure researchers continue to have the freedom of choosing the right journal. You understand or not? So if we don't do this model, all of you stuck only in open access. But sometimes not all the OA journals fits your area of study. Does it make sense? Okay, so that is the reason why we explain. And we call that a hybrid journal. In our context, we call a Sage Choice. Okay, so just like that. Sage Choice is just a name, but hybrid journal is the model. Okay? Okay, so just if you go for any open access, just be careful that you need to prepare for the article processing charge. In short, we call APC. All right? Okay, so we move on. Yes, Sage currently have more than 200 plus, okay, open access, Go open access journal for choose from, but even the remaining 900 over subscribed journals, right, they are all hybrid. Most of them, only a handful, very, very few, okay, they are 100% subscribed, but most of them, 900 over, they are hybrid. So you really need to actually refer back to your funders requirement, okay? Okay, frequency. Okay, the journal on the red color publish 2 issues a year. The journal on the other side publish 8 issues a year. So now you ask yourself, okay, is the frequency very important? You understand or not? Okay, if some students rely on the publication to boost their graduation potential, then you better choose one that publish faster. Okay, you don't have to sit there. You publish, wait for 6 months, just to wait for it to don't know whether accepted or not. You know, then everybody delay and delay and delay. You get, okay. Bear in mind, submission process can only submit 1 journal at a time. Once you submit to the 2 issues per year, you have to wait. You seriously have to wait unless you say, I choose to withdraw and resubmit. But the moment you withdraw, right, waste time already. Right or not? Okay. So that's the reason why frequency become one of the important criteria you want to say. Now, upon demand, Sage has refreshed all our journal with this very important journal metrics. Okay. So first to decisions. Now, very often when I do this kind of session, a lot of users last time asked me, okay, how long does it take for the editorial to come back to me, whether my paper is, they don't say accepted, the first, very rare. Usually, that's reject is a lot common, right? Because they don't read aim and scope. But once you submit, congratulations, accepted, very rare, okay? most of them must go through even minor revision. All right, major revision is the one that always headache, But then what happened here is that then they always ask me, can you tell me how long should I wait? And I say, how long have you submitted? 2 weeks ago. I say, continue wait lah. You understand or not? You know why? In a publishing process, when you submit the journal, the editor receive it, then they think this is in which field, then they need to actually figure out who is the reviewer. Understand or not? Okay. Always bear in mind, if any one of you has been invited as a reviewer before, you know that it's a voluntary job. You do it for free, right? You do it when you have free time. On top of your admin, teaching, research, your personal time, everything. You need to squeeze some time to actually help people, okay? For the benefit of the human being. So that's the reason why, right? Sometimes they themselves, a big professor, travels. They just don't have time to read their email. They see, oh, request again. Put aside first lah. When I come back then 1 week gone already. But then everybody keep chasing or not. So sometimes we have to be understandable because they are doing a free job. So even an editorial receive it, they are looking for a suitable reviewer and then wait for the reviewer to come back. Let's say normal. 2 blinded review. I send to you. But then you come back within a week or 2 weeks, but you may be traveling. So by the time you come back, right, it may take 4 weeks to come back. You understand or not? So it becomes when you chase me, I also cannot do anything. I need to wait for all the reviews report come back, plus my opinion, then I will write a holistic understanding whether to have a major or minor revision. Does it make sense? Then once they do a revision, right, they throw back to you, right, it all depends on you already, how fast you react to the revision. Okay, so if you sit on it, right, then you don't blame the editorial, right? So you need to really quickly work on it and get back to the reviewer. Okay, so that's the reason why. So first decision means 27 days. In this example, it shows that urban studies, it shows that when you submit a paper, on average, it takes about 27 days, or we say a month, okay, before they will come back to you saying that your paper got accepted or not. So this is the thing that you want to consider. Can you wait? Okay, so you don't write to the editorial until about 27 or 30 days. Then you have the right to write to them. Usually it's on the homepage. There is an editorial email. You write to them citing your submission number. Okay, I just want to check my status. Then they will tell you, sorry, one of the reviewers not coming back. Yes, we are chasing. Then at least you know the number. They are processing rather than in the black box. Does it make sense? I hope this helps. Then the second, we can skip. The third one is important, acceptance ratio. A lot of people want to know that among the 100 papers that submit, how many of them got rejected? Or how many got accepted? So in this case, about 15 of them got accepted. Don't discourage. Remember, that's reject got a lot. So this will contribute to the number. You understand or not? We won't tell you the percentage, how many are that's reject, how many are wow. Okay. So we should be confident about our research. If you are really focused on your research, doing a good job, okay, this is just a number. Don't always underestimate that I will never fall into the 15. You never know, okay? So sometimes, right, you already choose to out of the game. You can't even submit. How can you know that you will be rejected, right? So if it is the right journal for you, just do it. Same for impact factors. You understand or not? It's an average citation, which is you have no control. It's for future people to cite your paper, not because I asked my friend to cite. You understand or not? So that's why the higher the number, the more difficult. It's only a general trend, but it doesn't really mean that, okay, you have no chance. You understand or not? Okay? So that's the reason why I say sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, all right? Obviously, you don't want to go for the 100% acceptance rate, right? Then it's very, very fishy already, right? So that means something. Okay, so having said that, we covered the first part, then we continue with the second part of number 1, what journals, okay, which journals do you read and cited most frequently? Now, over the couple of days when they have a similar sessions, okay, in different universities in Indonesia, these common questions came out. People will ask me saying that, hey, you know what? So many metrics to consider, right? But I still cannot make a decisions. Then what are the one thing that's simple for me? Then I say, okay, have you done your literature about that? Do you have about at least 50 to 80 articles for master, maybe 80 to 120 for PhD that you refer? And they say, oh yeah, I have that. Then I say, you do a statistic of all the journal. How many of them coming from the same journals? Okay, I hope I give you ring a bell. Okay, you go to analyze all your 120 articles that you refer. Are they all coming from 120 different journals? cannot be. I don't believe, right? You will notice that they actually come from a couple of maybe 10 or 20 journals only. You understand or not? These are the journals that you are supposed to target. And if you target them, sure, confirm, correct. You understand or not? It cannot be wrong. You understand or not? Okay, because these are the journal published that kind of work you are working. You understand or not? So, of course, I'm not saying that after knowing this, don't read the aim and scope, because the aim and scope change, adjust according. So you still need to read the aim and scope, but actually have a strong indications of what you're supposed to submit already. Makes sense? Plus, number 2, humans are habitual. We are habits, okay? So once you do a thing very many times, you become so used to it, you feel comfortable. So if you keep reading the journals, many of them, the articles, you know the writing style. You understand or not? You more or less really know the writing style. Then you write according to the favor of the editorial. And then it will enhance your chance of getting acceptance. I say enhance, no guarantee, okay? Because I think a real contribution factor is about what is your scientific contributions, okay, to that, okay, or to your discipline, okay? That is the real thing, right? But it affected by the writing styles, right? And a lot of our students cannot even started. Why? Not confident. Don't know how to start. That's the problem, right? Okay, but it's less of a problem for a seasoned researcher. Yeah. Okay, so the next one is, of course, description, yes. Okay, our metrics, yes. Just now we mentioned something, right? I said we pay attention to what? Downloads. Okay, we know what is the hot topics currently. Everybody is focusing, everybody is downloading, but they haven't produced their work yet. Then we look into the citation. What are the important articles that influence the future that I cite and I must know? Now, our metrics is measure the online attentions. So as we go more and more social media, then a lot of times, right, some research, they just cannot receive citation within a short period of time. So in this situation, right, you want to know what has affected the mass crowd, okay, that actually making every people excited. And this is called the R metrics. Because R metrics is based on these metrics. Here, you see that? All these Wikipedia, Facebook, the former Twitter, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, YouTube, all these funny thing, right? All is available on internet. So in other words, right, okay, if I throw a concept of findings out, then she say, oh my God, she just react, okay, it capture. But she just surprise, there's no in favor or disagreement. There's no such thing. She just surprised. Then another person say, good, I'm going to use in my work. Another person say, oh, very questionable. So there could be a mixture of neutral, agree, disagree, but it's a mass reactions, online attention. All right. So it got nothing to do, but it's another alternative metrics for you to consider if you want to create a buzz. Okay. So this is something that you want to highlight to you. So next thing is, of course, the submission guidelines. Now, submission, okay, once you already select the journal, more or less, you want to decide, then you must read the selection guideline. The selection guidelines will tell you what exactly you want to use. For example, this one, you can written in, must be in British spelling. The other US or UK, up to you. Okay, you can accept both, okay? The other will tell you, or you know what, must be double space. The other must be double space, and left, right, 3 centimeter margin, and so on and so forth. Funny, right? But it is what it is. You just don't want to get rejected because you do not follow. So that's the reason why the writing styles comes later. Like for example, this one, they say the abstract has to be in 4 parts: objective, methods, result, discussion, and conclusion. The other, you can lump everything. All right. For my research earlier, I always fall into this one. I love it. You know why? Because the objective, right, straightforward, cannot more than 2 sentences. Anything more than 2 sentences means I'm not focused. My research is too broad. Actually, there's no focus, right? But for your case, may be different. Okay, but if you look into the style of here, if I tell you what is the methodology, you need to read the whole thing almost before you even know what is it. But there's no right and wrong. It's just a journal requirement which you have to comply, like it or not. Okay, so the next thing that, okay, also we mentioned about these are the publishing styles. So some of them must have acknowledgement, some of them must acknowledge the funding, then some of them must declare what is the conflict of interest, etc. All right, of course, the next thing is about any special collections. Now, during, for example, education, during the COVID pandemic time, they actually have launched a lot of special issues. That means how the COVID have affected the educational, the way of actually conduct. Earlier, a lot of pushback. We say we do online. Lecturers don't agree, students don't agree, you know. Then after the COVID pandemic, no choice. Everybody practice one round. They say, oh, doable. You know? Then they have a lot of different opinion. All right. Then this will allow a lot of researchers to study how the entire community have a change or shift in terms of learning behavior. Right. A lot of research can be discussed, can be disclosed. And then they have a special collection. You understand? So if you are choosing a special collection, the advantage is you know a confirmed readers, okay, who are very interested in your similar kind of studies, okay, and then straight away you can actually know the right, target the right audience, and you can start do the connections and collaboration opportunities. I hope it makes sense. But this is on top of what the regular one will do. So something to be mindful, number one, not all journals have an impact factor, even if they are authentic. That means a real journal. Just like in Sage, right, we have 1,000 over journal in our portfolio, about 800, 900 of them has the impact factors. Okay, so not all of them have, but that doesn't mean they are not real. Okay, it's just that new journals come out, they haven't there yet to receive their impact factors, right? So if you want to ask me, okay, what are the journals that's considered predatory, then I would say that you connect with the library, right? Ask the library. Very simple rule. Library don't subscribe to predatory journals. Simple as that. But bear in mind, library don't subscribe every journal under the sun, okay? So that's the reason why you need to check with them. They will help you to verify those they didn't subscribe, but it's a real journal, okay? Because predatory journals, right, they sound so professional. You understand or not? The title of the journal is exactly similar like those authentic journal. There's no difference. And if you are not deep enough in the field or long enough in the field, sometimes it's difficult for you to identify the differences. Yeah? All right. Of course, if today you access to Sage Journal, all the journals are authentic, right? So it can be trusted and can just submit, all right? Everything, all the features that I highlight to you just now are inside there, okay? I'm not going through the clicking, but I just hope that you all just do the browsing, simple navigation yourself, then everything will ring the bell. Oh, Dr. Lim said that. Oh, Ki Hyang said that. Okay, I hope that is going to be helpful. So first step, select the right journal, write for it, okay? Due to the interest of time, we'll move to the next topic. That's called the, okay, oh no, before that, yeah, almost forget, journal recommender. After you select, then you will say, hey, you know what? I still have about, not sure which journal should I submit. Then what we will suggest you to do is that you just use the journal recommender free. You give the title, you give the keywords and the relevant field that you're working, they will give you 3 to 5 journals suggested for you, right? Then you read the aim and scope, see is relevant. If you are happy, then you move on to the next one, which is called the Sage Path. Sage Path, again, a free service that we provide to you. Okay, then based on the requirement, you tell the Sage Path, say that you help me to submit to the editorial. This is due to the fact that a lot of our users actually feel frustrated. I can only submit to one journal at a time. I submit, I wait, not sure whether they accept or not. Then if they don't accept, I need to resubmit, wasted my time. So every time they don't accept, to me, very scared. So what we'll do is that you submit to them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are the 5 journals I'm considering. Sage will do the back-end job. We will give to the first journal, okay or not. Editorial say okay or not okay. If not okay, go to the second journal. Okay or not. If they say okay, I will come back to you. Okay, you say Bisa, then we will do the transfer for you. So it saves you tremendous effort. You understand or not? Not so many heart attack. Okay, okay, scary part. Okay, so this is Sage Path. They are all free and they are all under our Author Gateway. All right, all the links are there. Scan the QR code and you can use it, okay, for free. Now, Author Gateway, of course, importantly, today, I'm not able to cover all these things, including, for example, just to write the journal literature, for example, convert your dissertation into a manuscript, your thesis into manuscript, all these, we have, Sage, such a big publishers in the world, so many authors, okay, we collaborated, so many editors we have. So what you do is that we invite all these professionals, they do a talk, give webinars. All these, feel free to register. I know the time is in US. It could be very late for us, but no worry, because all are recorded and they are free to watch anytime at your free time, okay? So I hope this will be helpful. So we move on to the campus. Campus is something that all of you have access already, all right? It is literally is an online course, okay? Now, it covers more than 40 courses from the information literacy. Remember, we always say, oh, literacy. Okay, number 1. Okay, I always ask this question. Okay, quite a couple of years ago, when we first launched Sage Campus, right, we have a very famous professor called Professor Tom Chatfield. He had written a very important book for us. Okay, that means that is the very first one. Okay, critical thinking during that time. Okay, then of course, currently we just launched the new courses called the critical reading and writing. Okay, so to me, as a researcher, I mean, I've gone through that process already. Okay, but for a young researcher, maybe you will find it difficult in terms of picking up the right knowledge, the right, not knowledge, information. You understand or not? Okay, so when you read, you must read critically. So that, right, okay, in a report with so many words, right, actually the real gist can only be one paragraph. Seriously, you understand or not? Okay, so how you pick up this information becomes very important. So when you process so many journal articles, you need to have the critical mindset to read so that you are able to pick up information before even you think, and finally you write. Does it make sense? Okay, so that's the reason why, okay, it's very important. I will encourage all of you to go through the information literacy courses. They are accessible to you 24/7 every day within the subscription, and you can watch it as many times as you wish. Okay, until you understand. Okay, the online course, the beauty about the online course is that it comes with video, short reading, very short, really short. Okay, not like a book, really, really short reading, 1 paragraph, 2 paragraph. Watch a video. They even I think they have a closed caption, I think, right? So that if you think English is difficult because they are, Western chat very fast, right? They have a closed caption. You can watch it again and again until you capture the gist. They have a self-practice. That means you check whether you understand the knowledge or not. Understand or not? Okay. So please register yourself a course. I'm going to take information about the national quiz, right? Okay. Okay. So we are having a national usage quiz. I told you just right. Okay. The national usage quiz, right, is going to have 7 questions. Okay, the last question I understand from our marketing is that they actually only just want to show that have you registered in campus. So I said, how to prove that? Okay, so the registration is simple. As long as you stay within the IP range, okay, of UI, or maybe you are from home, but you log into your your authentication system, then you're within the IP range. So when you go to campus, okay, so you go to A to Z list, select the e-resources, click S for Sage, then you'll find campus, you click onto it, they'll ask you to register. When you click register, after you fill in your name, your email, and your password, that's all, then they will come up, congratulations, registration. Take a screenshot of that. That is the answer for question 7. They just want to show whether you register. But for those that have already registered, simple. You log into your campus account, you go to your profile, and then take a screenshot of that. Okay? And that is actually a proof that you have registered. That's it. So the answer number 7 is done. Okay? For the other 6 questions, all fall under Sage Journal. So I can only tell you that much. Okay? I release answer, okay? But I hope that, but we provide good prices, okay? At the end, I will provide you the QR code for the national usage quiz. Just participate. All right, you never know. You are one of the lucky winner. You win the iPad home. Okay, so why this is important? Number 1, information literacy. This is the place where you get your critical thinking and the art of ChatGPT, which later I will cover a little bit. And then the introductions to artificial intelligence for those that actually are starting your project soon. You may want to consider proposal writing as well as focus on how to do a researchable questions. This will determine largely how good your project will be and how you are moving in the right directions. Okay, I won't go into that, but because it's too lengthy. Then here are the, I would say, courses, okay, for you to actually do the research methods. And finally, right, okay, this is the part where, okay, how can I start? No, sorry, I start. Okay, and of course, the final is how to getting published. All right, there are 8 courses there. Okay, go there, watch it anytime, free to watch because like prepaid. Okay, okay. So these are amazing resources. So I will hope that you can go there, and don't worry. Okay, if today I'm going too fast, something that you don't understand, you can watch it as many times as you wish. Share with your peers, share with your students, everywhere that you think is helpful. All right. So depends on your needs. Okay, here are the 8 courses. If let's say, for example, you want to learn about publishing landscape, here are the 4 courses we recommend. It only take about 6.5 hours to 7 hours to complete. The next one will be also about write a journal article to get published. Here are the 4 courses that we recommend and about 8 to 9 hours to complete. You don't have to do it within a day. You can do it bit by bit, part by part. Okay. Of course, you don't write paper within a day as well, right? You're not going to remember. Okay. So you just watch whatever is necessary and digest it. Okay. Now, okay, simple question. The last section of that is who don't use ChatGPT? Okay, you don't use at all? Oh, yeah, okay. So we use ChatGPT, but not all of us are using ChatGPT for research. But as a researcher, the moment you try ChatGPT, I think you will be amazed. Seriously, I'm very amazed by, oh, how can they write beautifully, paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. Then questions arise because we are doing research, right? We are not writing storybooks, all right? We're not writing for the sake of just having fun, okay? It's a serious thing that you have to go through reviewer, right? So that's the reason why, okay, there needs to have some guidelines we have to follow, right? We are not against, because even if we are against as a publisher, can we stop? Cannot, okay? You are free to do what you like. So that's a problem. We provide guidelines. Okay, so that's the reason why. So when I first talk about the artificial intelligence, you can see there, right, 37,000 of result file dated as early back as 1959. All right, so artificial intelligence is not really something new. All right, but if you look into it, right, you will notice that the papers in 1985, which is 40 years ago, people already worry about how our employment will be affected by AI. Okay, so I do a search again, then I realized 40 years later, we are still talking about the same topic. Will our job be affected? Okay, how can we reskill and upskill to ensure that we stay relevant? So you see that it is a topic that actually keep on developing. It's just that now the entire landscape, rise exponentially. And we all become very nervous. Okay, some of us, of course, we are excited because we thought that it helps. So in this situation, what we'll do is that, okay, we look into that, then we realize that just one of the article, it says that AI can enhance our written communication skill. Yes, error detection, some grammar, some citation assistant, proofreading, formatting assistant. But there are also risks, such as, okay, they collect the cost, okay, there's a risk and other things. So too small, I know. So let me highlight this slide instead. So Dr. Zina O'Leary is one of our important, I would say, author who write the books on doing your research project, okay, in Australia. She done a webinar for us highlighting these risks that currently AI cannot do yet. Remember, we use the word yet because it's developing very fast. We do not know what's coming up and can do. But now, yet. It means that, number one, as a professors or maybe as a students, do not use AI for research questions and hypotheses. They cannot. But literally, you just take AI, the machine, as a black box. And the black box acquire knowledge based on what is fed into the black box. Okay? And you and I do not know, actually. We do not know, okay? So in other words, right, okay, if we are not sure what is being fed into the black box, you cannot assume the black box is an expert like you, all right, to think critically about the project you are researching. Does it make sense? So the research question that come out from the black box, right, sometimes or most of the time can be biased and skewed. Okay, so it's not yet. Number two, okay, it also says that, okay, the design of the research method, right, okay, is not trustable. That means you cannot ask the AI, now I'm going to do this research, recommend a method for me. Okay, no. Okay, the answer is very risky, right? Number three, they also they don't fully interpret the data yet or even write a cohesive report for you. Okay, so what I'm to highlight here is to you is that if you have a small little paragraph and you find it very difficult to express because of flow of languages, fair enough, they can help you, but make sure you double check, triple check, okay, before you even submit it or take it as it is. Don't, right? Not to mention, you want to upload 20 pages report, 40 pages report, ask them to rewrite for you. Very, very risky, right? Because it's a generative AI. It means that they think they generate something new. When they generate something new, which is not what you originally wish to communicate, then you are at risk. In fact, high risk, okay? So number one, credibility is an issue. AI, they don't counter check with a scientific information. Reasons, number one, we do not know what has been fed into the machines to do the training. Most of the time, a lot of journal articles are not fed into the machines yet. They only based on free resources, title and abstract, not sufficient. So they based on very limited understanding of the scientific discovery and finding, and then they tell you based on this, very, very risky thing, and then they say, okay, I have this thing. So all the credibility is not there. In other words, right, if they refer to something, we better check, okay, whether that exists. Research has shown that they come out, what do you call that? That means reference that does not exist. They generate exist, okay, fake references. So if they can't give you any references, please check against the library. Okay, does the paper really exist? You'll be surprised, you know, it sounds so professional. Come with DOI, you click, oh, fake one, no such DOI exists. Serious, okay? Research has shown that, okay? So don't fully trust. But if you don't check, I tell you, wow, the way they write the report so professional. Like, wow, okay? That's very risky, okay? Number 2, plagiarism. Okay, plagiarism about scientific contract. Okay, sorry, about scientific discovery. This, you come up something new idea, I refer and I start your idea. Then I have a new advancement, right? Okay, but AI don't know. So when you ask them to do an idea, they take your idea, they rewords it, and then they say this is a new idea. And if you just accept it, you are copying. Does it understand or not? Okay, plagiarism. Okay, because they don't come on new idea. Understand or not? But they will reword it so that you didn't know that actually is somebody's idea. Yeah, amazing. That's a problem, right? So it is amazing, but amazing itself can also be a problem. Okay. Okay, number 3. Okay, so they did an example. So what example here is that write an essay on the importance of summer reading. Okay. This is what we actually try an example, right? The same group of librarian, they actually do something, say, define the essay audience, wrote what they wanted to be, the statement to be, started drafting some content that should be included, and even give a structure of the writing, right? And then the answers are so different. Okay, the one on your left-hand side, you will notice that these are so AI because they are programmed this way. Unless you tell the AI specifically, I want to be in which format, then they will come out very beautifully. Understand or not? Okay. But on this side, right, what did the librarian do is that, or the researcher do is that, they already provide the AI with some own writing. So they will actually develop based on your idea, rather than the other, just give me a topic, free form of innovation. So they will create something out of fabrication. All right. So in other words, right, having understand this, so what is our policy as a publishers for authors? Number 1, if you are using AI or the machines to help you, we must disclose, okay, the use of the AI tool generating, the words is generating contents such as, be it your text, your images, reference, translation, and when you're submitting the work to our Sage, AI tools should not be cited as the primary sources, and in fact, authors might cite the original sources. That's why I say credibility is an issue, right? So you must cross-check, and then submission include AI-generated content, no matter it's fully or partially, please disclose them. Because if you are caught, okay, by the reviewer, and you know lah, usually they will reject, okay, we just don't hope that you got accepted, then get retracted lah. This is kind of risky. Okay, so what are the guidelines? Number 1, clearly indicate the use of the language model, number 1. Number 2, please verify the accuracy, validity, okay, of the content. 3, be very conscious about the potential for plagiarism. All right, so if you are asking AI to give you an idea, the idea we better check whether it's original or not. A lot can be plagiarism, okay? And number 4, okay, conscious about the potential fabrication. Fabrication means hallucination. Okay, they hallucinate, they think of something out of the blue, you know, they are very good at doing that. And number 5, AI itself cannot be listed an author. In other words, right, we as an author 100% fully liable for what we submitted. You understand or not? Okay, so don't blame here, blame there, blame ourselves. Okay, if you use AI, you blame yourself if it is caught. Okay, so that's the reason why. Okay, so even the STM organization have a certain rules to follow. Even our committee of publication ethics also say that do not use AI as your author. And if you want to use, you are fully responsible because it is only a tool to assist, but not a tool to generate ideas and help you do anything. So I like this particular this workflow. You know why? Unstable on the online. We got a lot of online users. Okay, because it says that does it matter if the output is true? If it is not that matter, doesn't matter. Yes, you are safe to use AI. But if it's matter because we're doing research, then they say, do you have the expertise to verify the output is accurate? If it is yes, are you able and willing to take full responsibility for the any missed inaccuracy. Even you say, yes, I'm willing to take responsibility, they only say possible. Okay, possible to use AI. The rest all, no, unsafe. So you can see that, right? Okay, AI is developing very fast, but you have to use it carefully. Does it make sense? Okay, so having said all this, right, even our journal management, for example, we understand people are using AI, but then we actually have recommend that you need to disclose appropriately. All right, so you read into the journal homepage, if you are using AI, see whether you need to disclose anything. Having said all these, okay, we cannot stop our user or authors from using AI. Therefore, we say your submission will not be rejected, just because you use AI. But you need to disclose and you need to be, understand, okay, which sections you are using it and whether it is an appropriate use of the AI. Okay, you know why? Because as established publishers, we fully appreciate and understand the fact that the value of human creativity and human authorship is still the very important as a researcher, all right? And the very important part is that the large language model cannot be listed as an author, and human oversight, intervention, accountability are essential. So basically, in conclusion, having seen all these, if you're using AI a little bit, okay, always check 4 points, okay? Number 1, credibility, okay? All the sources, is it credible? Are they based on something imaginary, which doesn't exist? Scientific doesn't allow imagination. You have to have a proper reference, right? Number 2 is about plagiarism, okay? So don't ask them to give idea. You give, okay, I would suggest you give idea to the AI, challenge me, challenge this idea. You think it's good, then AI will say, have you overlooked this one? Have you never considered this one? Then it's okay because you are brainstorming. Does it mean this is okay? Number 3, privacy. Privacy is an important issue. AI take your data, become their training data. They never return. Okay, so that's the reason why. Okay, if this is your research finding, have not been published, you ask AI to cross-check, you are disclosing your findings. Okay, make it clear. So if you don't want to disclose your finding, make sure be very careful what you upload into AI to do the cross-check. And of course, fabrication, or we say hallucination, right? They imagine something, they dream of something. So these are the 4 points that you must always check, okay? Then you are on the safer side. I didn't say you confirm, I say you are on the safer side. And then remember to disclose. All right, so the Art of ChatGPT is actually a very important course in Sage Campus. So after today, right, I will encourage all of you to go into the, I would say Sage Campus and then do this course. So because we did not say you cannot use, but even if you want to use AI, you have to be smart in asking the right question. So Professor Leo, okay, who is the Dean of the College of University Libraries and Learning Sciences from the University of New Mexico, has helped us to do these courses, okay, to become the author. So he suggested a framework called CLEAR, which cover concise, logical, explicit, adaptive, and reflective. All right. So later we're going to have a quiz on this, so pay attention. Okay. So the first thing is, okay, so concise. It means that you have to be more, tell AI exactly what you want to do. Cannot be too generic because everything come back will be so general and generic until it is very unclear. So the example here is that, okay, instead of telling I'm very interested in the French Revolution, tell me more about it, or summarize the main cause of a French Revolution. So the keyword is main cause, right? Rather than I'm very interested. So do away with all these unnecessarily verbal, personal opinion things, which doesn't help the AI. AI is not a human. They don't understand what exactly you do. Number 2, logical. If you say, okay, what is the process of scientific methods? Very vague. So you say, well, what kind of scientific method you want to know? Instead, we should say, outline the steps in the scientific method from hypothesis to conclusion. Then they will list out what the future step by step. These are all open knowledge, right? You go to check any methods book, you will find all these, okay? So they know exactly what you want, then they will give you a more holistic answer, right? Number 3, explicit. Explicit means that, okay, you see, if you provide an explicit instruction so that it will give you the exact needs of you want. So for example, at least 5 renewable sources. I told them 5. You understand? So it becomes very specific. Okay, detail the working mechanism in what format? Table format. Understand? Okay, so you can go up to this. If you say in a paragraph format, it will appear as a paragraph. In a point form format, it will also appear as a point form format. Depends on your preference or your reading behavior, which is easier for you, right? Number 4, we call about adaptive. Refine the queries based on the output. Meaning to say, right, for example, you say, tell me more about the renewable energy sources. Well, if you say so, then the AI will just, okay, there are solar, there are wind, hydroelectric, geothermal, and biomass. They tell you all of them, right? But then you say, oh, okay, thank you. Adaptive means that then I say, compare. Okay, I want AI to say, so it's a follow-up question. Compare the efficiency and environmental impact. I only need these two. Okay, for what? Solar and wind energy. Okay, so when you tell them, then they will give you more specific and targeted answer, right? And last but not least is about reflective. Reflective basically talk about, for example, provide an argumentative text on climate change. Then LLM usually are programmed not to take side. Okay, so they will stand in the neutral. But because LLM, the machine, is based on the data used to train them, so sometimes they are skewed towards one side. You understand or not? Okay, for example, you want to talk about something, they will skew towards the Western world because the data fit in is by the Western world. So they will become very Western opinionated, you know, but there's no right and wrong. So if you want to be, ask them about the, let's say our Asian context, right? They may not be able to give you the full context because they are not trained. And can you control? Cannot. So that's the reason why, right, in this situation, right, let's say, like, if you are talking about a more generic topic, and then, right, they will try to program as a neutral. But if you want to take side, then you will say, oh, argue in favor, okay, the immediate action to combat the climate change and provide some evidence. Then they can actually help to take side. But this is a generic topic, but they are about like social issues, all these, right? They cannot take side. You know why? They will be biased, depend on the trained data. So that's the reason why can be used, yes. Need to be careful, yes also, right? So if you are able to use it smartly, you use like a devil advocate, challenge yourself about your thinking so that we try to avoid what? Our oversight. That means that something you may overlook, right? It's not that intentionally, but sometimes, you know, we are not like a machine. We cannot process such big number of information. Therefore, it may end up we overlook. So use it to challenge yourself. Then you become the brain thinking, oh, this research question, I didn't disclose to AI, right? But I asked them to challenge me. You understand or not? So in other words, right, I will ensure my thinking, my planning are very comprehensive. That means I consider all sides of the question before even I do my research. Then it make you more powerful. Because as a researcher, sometimes it's very difficult to find another peers of a common specialty to actually discuss in depth. Right or not? Even if I'm in the same school, right? Sometimes I cannot actually discuss in depth because you are the only few in, let's say, in this school. But maybe there are experts out there, but we have no access, no network. Then how to discuss with them, right? So we are not attending conference every day, every week, every month. So sometimes there's still opportunity, but you can use this machine to like your friend who know the knowledge because they really scan through millions and millions of data, right? They may challenge you. If it makes sense, you give a second thought. Yeah, actually, I never thought about this aspect. I should think about this aspect. Then number one, you take care of your privacy. You did not disclose anything. And number two, you use it to challenge you. You are safe. Rather than you ask them to give you idea that could be a risk of plagiarism. Okay? Okay? Okay, so with that, I think I cover all the things. We will promote this at the end. You will go with question first, right? Okay, Ken.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lim, for sharing all the fruitful resources regarding how to publish journal article. Please do kindly give your round of applause to Dr. Lim.
Thank you.
So just to wrap up the whole explanations regarding how to publish journal articles, Dr. Lim saat ini sudah membagikan terkait dengan bagaimana kita bisa memilih jurnal artikel secara mindful. Kemudian juga tadi Dr. Lim sudah membagikan juga terkait Sage Path dan juga Journal Recommender sebagai service gratis yang disediakan oleh Sage. Jadi Bapak dan Ibu juga rekan-rekan bisa mengakses Sage Path gitu ya, boleh di googling Sage Path kemudian dicoba jurnal recommendernya untuk bisa membantu Bapak dan Ibu memilih jurnal apa yang dirasa relevan untuk Bapak dan Ibu. Kemudian tadi Dr. Lim juga membagikan bahwa saat ini Sivitas Akademika Universitas Indonesia punya akses ke Sage Campus, yaitu online course dari Sage, yang mana salah satu coursesnya berkaitan dengan how the art interactions of ChatGPT dan juga introductions to artificial intelligence. Boleh kita buka 3 pertanyaan terlebih dahulu untuk Bapak dan Ibu, silahkan boleh.
Oh, 3 taken. 1, 2, 3. They're always done. Okay, I'll go 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yes.
Good afternoon, Pak Lim. Thank you very much for the chance. I would like to ask some question because I am writing, but it not in Sage, another publishing. Probably you can give me important insight relating to the model of the publication. So actually regarding to hybrid model, I'm still so much confused about the certain policy, especially self-archiving policy, because I would like to choose the subscription. The hybrid, let me confirm, the hybrid is open access and the subscription route. Is it right?
Okay, hybrid means that
Uh,
in a subscription journal,
yes.
you can turn only your article to become gold open access, only your paper, if you pay the APC charge. So, okay, so I give you an example, okay? So for example, journal A, okay? When I publish an issue of certain volume of, let's say, 30 articles, and your paper is one of them, okay? So I have different researchers all publish them. They all don't pay. Then they can still get accepted because then their paper will be locked, okay, unless the library pay. But your paper, you pay the article processing charge for only your paper. And then like within that 30 articles, only your paper become gold open access. So that means if today I'm coming from a university, I don't have a subscription of the journal, all right? All the 29 articles who do not pay will be behind the paywall, means locked, all right? Only your paper becomes freely available to the world. So this journal has a mixture between a locked article and an open access. And that's why we call hybrid. As a mixture of closed and open is hybrid. 100% Go OA, open access article, journal B, everybody, you must pay, like it or not. If you don't pay, you cannot even submit. You understand or not? Because it is only going only for the Go open access model. So in other words, right, if you decided to submit your article to a Go OA, you must prepare the fee for publications, which is APC. Because everybody, every single article must pay in order to go into that journals. So hybrid gives you the flexibility. You have money, you pay. You don't have money, it's okay. You can still publish without hesitation.
Okay, so my question regarding the policy of the publishing, it is written self-archiving policies. Self-archiving policies and accepted manuscript terms of use. I'm trying to understand this.
Okay.
Could you please share?
Sure.
That's the first question. Can I?
Let me finish that.
All right,
Okay,
all
so
right.
because I don't remember any questions. Sorry. Okay, a short memory. Okay. If I'm correct, I understand what you refer is called the green OA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The green OA policy, which I didn't highlight, is actually applicable to all the so-called the paid journal, right? But I can only speak for Sage. Okay, I don't speak for other publishers because different publishers have different practices for their green OA. So what is a green OA means? Green OA is this one. Okay, so let's say I have a professor, okay, who go to publish the paper in a journal A. Okay, professor didn't pay, therefore his paper will be locked, right? Okay, now bear in mind when you submit a paper. Okay, I go slow. You all have okay. There are 3 versions. Okay, first version we call submitted version before peer review. Okay, after the peer review process and your paper got accepted, we call accepted version, version 2. Okay, finally, the publisher will connect with you, asking you to do all the proofreading, copy editing, and we will put into a PDF format, maybe 2 columns or whatever, and we call a published version. Sometimes we call version of record. Okay, but make it simple, submitted version before peer review. After peer review, accepted version. Finally, copy editing, published version. All right. So the first version, submitted version, no use one. You know why? I haven't peer review what, right or not? So nobody cares. But once it got accepted after the peer review, actually the version 2 and version 3 are exactly similar. Right or not? Okay. The only difference is that, okay, this one we have to do the copy editing, formatting, etc. This one not yet. But the content are equal because both of them are after peer review. Okay. Green open access route means that for this second version, version number 2, okay, before the copy editing, you can self-archive. That means the word I say archive, okay, that means save in your, let's say your school repository, your personal repository, and for academic research use. You are free to do it, and we call this green OA route. Understand or not? Green OA, all right? You are not able to sell it, but you can actually use it freely for your personal research use. Okay, then the final version, because you signed the contract, right? You transmit the copyright to publishers. This version belongs to the publishers, the copyright, and you cannot just distribute. You understand or not? Okay, then what do? You use the access sharing. Remember just now I told you, you create the link and then you give it to your peers whom you met in the conference. They have 90 days access of the EPUB version, which they cannot download, but they can read your articles, your achievement, your findings. Understand or not? Okay, so the green route refer to the second version where you can self-archive into your school or maybe your personal repository, right? For Sage, most of them, we don't have an embargo period. That's a good thing about Sage, okay? Immediately after they accepted, you can upload into your self repository for your personal research development use, all right? But other publishers, we cannot speak because some of them, they do have an embargo period. That means you cannot do it after 1 year or 2 years' time. Okay, I hope I answered your question. If I understand your question correctly.
Yes,
right.
thank you.
So your next question is?
My second question, well, actually, this is a backup plan if the journal, because I must revise the major revision.
Oh, okay.
So I have another idea to publish in Sage. So actually, the discipline is interdiscipline. Well, actually include discourse and linguistic and argumentation theory.
Okay.
So could you please give me idea actually what is the best journal I have to submit in Sage?
Okay.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Pak Lim.
So this one, allow me to use the website a little bit. Finally, our okay. So simple. If you go to our journal homepage, this is our, okay. Just remember, okay, you go through the library, then you go to the A to Z database or E database, then you select S for Sage, right? Then finally you find a lot of database, then you look through, and then finally you find Sage Journal. But let's say, okay, even if like today morning, right, because I'm within the IP range, I just type journals.sagepub.com, straight away it come to here, right? And you can see that, right? Okay, this is within the UI subscription with your logo. Okay, so straightforward, you go to the discipline, okay, and you select the discipline. I think the linguistic, right? Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Stop sharing. Let me reshare. Let me share the whole screen. Then everything can see me. Okay. Okay, cool. So you come here, then you go to the all discipline. You go to the, I think, social science. Let me click on social science, and then right, we have language and linguistic. Can you see that? Then you browse all the journals. Okay. Content meeting is being sent or what? Okay. Okay. So you have 20 of them. Okay. Quite lucky. If you have 200, I think headache. Okay, in terms of linguistic and languages, this will help you to narrow down. Then now you go to the journals, you go to the journal homepage, you click on any one of them, you go to the journal homepage, and then you read into the aim and scope. which one fits you better. Then, if you still cannot decide, don't worry. Remember just now I mentioned about Sage Recommender and Sage Path. Okay, so Sage Recommender and Sage Path can be found here. Simple. Okay, under the Sage platform, you go for information for author. You click on here. Okay, once you click on here, they will bring you to here, author gateway. They will bring you to this page, right? Okay, then what you will do is that under the author, okay, the Sage Journal Recommender and Sage Path link are all here. You just click on here, it will bring you to the recommender. Okay, you click on there, they will come to here. Okay, another one is Sage Path. You click on here, they will bring you to another here. Okay, these are the 2 page. Okay, then they will recommend what are the journals. So number 1, they will recommend a couple of journals for you that's suitable for your research. Okay, number 1. Number 2, then you engage Sage Path. Okay, if they are listed there, then they will actually do the transfer for you. All right, but before that, 2 things you must do. Number 1, read the aims and scope. Don't read the title alone. Title is too vague, too general. Okay, so you read the aim and scope. Does it meet into your need? Number 2, if it does, then you can either use this. If not, you can read the journal metrics, right? See which one are frequency, etc. What are the impact factors? Then you choose a few that of your choice, and then you just submit. Okay, simple as that. So don't worry. Okay, because you leave all the jobs to the we call that to the editors, all right, to see whether it's okay. But before that, on the other side, okay, major review, you must inform them you want to withdraw because you only submit 1 journal at a time. But of course, even if you don't tell them, they won't publish because you already submitted. But it's nice to just tell them, I want to withdraw, and then you resubmit. It's okay. It's normal practice. Okay? I hope I answered your question. Thank you very much. Okay, so Sue, I think we have two questions here. Yeah, what the professor?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I'm Anissa. Well, actually, I want to know about the subscription. Yeah, is it only for the institution only, or is there any individual subscription for the Sage Journal?
To take this, it's a sales question, subscription. Okay, so literally, okay, Sage usually we promote institutional access, but okay, for Sage journals, you can buy individual articles. We call pay-per-view. It is allowed. It is allowed. So sometimes, okay, let's say UI only buy a back file up to 1999. Okay, but you found that there's an article in 1990 that is relevant to you, but UI currently don't have. My first recommendation is you go to the library. The library will see whether they have a budget to buy for you, right? And then so that you don't have to pay out from your research funding, but there is an option for that. Yes.
So it is only for institutional?
We encourage institutional subscription, but you can also buy individual journal or articles.
Each journal.
All have access. But if you are talking about Sage Campus, yes, then we only for institutional subscription.
Thank you.
So journal flexible. Campus only for institutional, but you don't have to because UI already have. Okay? Yes.
Mungkin boleh menambahkan sedikit. Jadi memang untuk saat ini seperti yang sudah dijelaskan oleh Ibu Lulu bahwa saat ini Universitas Indonesia aksesnya sedang di stop terlebih dahulu. Namun Universitas Indonesia masih bisa mengakses artikel yang menjadi perpetual rights gitu ya. Jadi beberapa artikel itu memang masih bisa diakses oleh Universitas Indonesia karena UI sendiri sudah punya akses ke Sage Journal dari tahun 2015 sehingga Bapak dan Ibu tidak perlu khawatir, banyak sekali artikel yang masih bisa diakses seperti itu.
Hello, I'm Vita. I'm quite curious about AI detector, and would you like to elaborate more about or give us any recommendation a reliable AI detector so we can distinguish between originally human generated idea and AI polished text? Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm not AI expert. Okay, so based on my humble and limited understanding or reading across the things is that
acceptable.
AI develop faster. Okay, then I think it can be detected. So that's my opinion, my personal opinion. Okay. So the problem always happen after, not during. Okay. So remember just now I mentioned about the 4 rules, right? Credibility, plagiarism, privacy, and hallucination or fabrication. Right. So the 4 things, if you try to counter check, you will notice that actually you are on the safe side, but doesn't guarantee. You understand what I mean? Okay. So what I'm trying to highlight to you is that if you think that, okay, if we think that we can use AI to do something and then got accepted, but the problem always lies in the future. Meaning to say, for example, there's plagiarism. Okay. AI detector may not be able to detect. May not, because you change the word here and there, changing the word here and there, right? They may not detect. The problem is in the future, right? Someone, because you publish first, right? Then only your article go out to the world, right? Someone detect. And then only then the repercussion come back. Then they inform the publisher, this is unethical. Publishing ethics issue, gone into investigation. University stress, library stress, the author most stress. Okay. Finally, if confirmed is a plagiarism, article got retracted. All right, reputation habis. Okay, and then right, a lot of repercussion to researcher as a career, and more important is what happened to those people cited this article. So that's the reason why, okay, I would say that it's not foolproof. Okay, even a publishers, we are also following very closely the development and also trying to see whether we are able to kind of like control. Okay, so every time we only give directions, but also based on ethical when we do research. Okay, so if you ask me, okay, is there any recommended detectors that you will detect? I would say there's no foolproof. There's no foolproof. Okay, based on my humble knowledge of what I read. Okay, I'm continue learning. Well, I will read a lot. I cannot know that I read everything. You understand or not? Okay, so that's the reason why we as a researcher, just ask yourself a very simple questions. 5 years ago, don't need to say 10 years ago, 3 years ago, when this is not so crazy yet, are we not surviving? We are surviving based on what we know, right? We publish good paper, we continue to be promoted, we continue to do our tenureship. Why must we so rely on it? I mean, so rely on it until now we don't want to write everything, wait for AI to do everything with AI to think. No, you understand or not? Actually, we all have the ability to do research with and without AI. You understand or not? Okay, it's just that AI, instead of giving you help, but AI also giving you big problems. You understand or not? Okay, so you have to make decisions between the help and the big problem. Which one would you prefer? I didn't put in this slide, but in my another set of slide, I did actually talking about purely about AI. I remember I put in the slide. A researcher did a comparison. She is using Claude. I think Claude. Okay, one of the AI tool. ChatGPT and Gemini, Google Gemini. Right? She compared 3 of them. I think one of them, right, is totally, the researchers say, crazy because it gives a lot of fake references. Credibility is the issue. Another, right, okay, they say, totally, I ask A, it give me A++. That means totally deviate the direction, hallucination, okay? And then the last one, they also give them some problem. Okay, then finally, the researcher say, I better write it myself. At the end, I have to re-edit, recheck everything, right? I'm doing double job, you understand or not? Okay, so that's why the researcher said. Then librarian comment, okay, it's a blog. Then the librarian comment, he said, yeah, the problem is this, these are from Australia. They said, the problem is students say, now you write amazing report, and now you tell me cannot use. Why? So it means that the mentality of the students, they may think that this is amazing, I want to use it. But students, because they haven't go into the research, I would say, arena yet, right? They don't understand the importance of the originality of a scientific discovery. So to them, right, credibility, okay lor, a plagiarism, okay lor. Because students, right, sometimes they are only doing project. Project basically is just repeat. You do, I do, everybody do the same thing, right? So that's why it's actually repeatable things. They are just training a skill to be independent thinking, but they haven't gone into a researcher's mindset. A researcher mindset is different. Critical thinking, right? You have to be very critical. What is the problem? On the surface, nobody realized there's a huge problem. But do you find out there is a problem here? How can I find the white space? What can I do differently to improve the outcome? That's why our contributions is there, right? Okay, so I hope that I answer your question to some extent. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih banyak Bapak dan Ibu yang sudah mengajukan pertanyaan. Kita boleh memberikan kembali kesempatan untuk dua penanya. Boleh, silahkan Bapak dan Ibu yang ingin bertanya.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Anna. So I'm from Material Science program. I have a question how to choose journal to get a high citation. Because like you said earlier, it is better to choose like open access, but it doesn't guarantee to have also high citation. Or shall we choose the high impact journal? Because for example, in my field, it's very specific and it has only like small community. So not much citation for the article. So maybe if you have like insight or experience how to choose a journal to get a high citation,
Okay,
that
sure.
would be very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Let me go back to one of the slides. Okay, I think this slide may give you some indications of whether which one is better for you to choose. So it really depends on your needs. So if today, as a general rule, I say, okay, if you want to use impact factors, don't compare across field, right? A number is just a number, although it doesn't guarantee. So if you choose impact factors, or maybe your field is based on 5 years impact factors, okay, so you choose the 5 year impact factors of, let's say, okay, seven, okay, let's say. So on average, in 5 years' time, you are going to receive 7 citations on average. Okay, in your field may be quite good already. But then you want to select, okay, whether this or actually go for the open access. Now, research has shown that open access definitely almost will increase your visibility and therefore the opportunity to get downloaded and therefore cited. You understand or not? Okay, access is an issue first. Number one, researchers, theoretically, we're supposed to identify the papers, okay, a paper that's relevant to you and try our ways to get the full text, theoretically. But the reality is that, is everybody really bothered to get the full text when they have no access? That's another question. You understand or not? So open access definitely increase your visibility because once your paper, the bibliographic information, that means your title, abstract, etc., being indexed by Google Scholar, and people click on it and then straight away to get the full text right, actually it's already become very easy. Don't be surprised. Sometimes our students, right, don't even know to go through the library authentication system. They click, then they face a paywall, right? Then they will just move away. Didn't even know that the library have a subscription to that. It's common, you know, because they use Google Scholar to do a search. So in this case, right, it actually kind of like reduce the visibility. But for open access, no such issue. You understand or not? Straight away they can download. So visibility is that. So now you have to ask yourself 2 questions. Number one, what is your objective? What is your objective in terms of helping your publication? If you want to get impact, okay, then you can use impact factor as your referencing, I would say, one of your referencing criteria to select journal. Number 2, okay, if you say, if I choose this journal, should I go for the open access mode or the subscription mode? That means the OA, sorry, the hybrid one. Then you have to ask yourself, do I have the APC? Because the APC is going to cost you a few thousand USD. You understand? Okay. If you have the access to the money, you are enhanced. You can choose. You have the options. I'm not saying you must. You have the option to make it open access and therefore enhance your potential of being visible and download. Okay. And being go open access has one advantage. You know why? You go to a conference. This is my paper. I mean, I'm not asking you to print and give. But even if you want to print and give, right, no issue because you own the copyright. Understand or not? For Go open access, right? But not for the normal subscription one. Understand what I mean? So this is number 2. And last but not least, maybe you can refer to other metrics. Let's say your research, okay, do not receive very quickly the citations numbers within a short period of time. And you would like to use that number to report to your head of departments, all right, for whatever other purposes, then you may want to consider other metrics. You understand what I mean or not? Okay, so for example, frequency of a journal. For example, our metrics, do you create a buzz? You understand? So if you happen to publish usage and your article happen to, after promoting in social media, create a buzz, your article may receive a sizable or good numbers in terms of our metrics. Would you want to support that to your head of department? But of course, whether the head of department accept that as one of the metrics, I'm not here to say. It depends on the head of department, how they view it, right? So this is something that you need to think, you need to communicate, and then finally you make a decision. I hope I help you some kind of like pointers so you know that what are the multiple metrics, but just don't say that, oh, this is the only one, but depends on your need as well. Okay? Yeah. Thank you.
Boleh, satu orang lagi kami beri kesempatan untuk bertanya terkait dengan how to publish journal articles. Ada yang ingin bertanya, Bapak dan Ibu? Kalau tidak ada, mungkin boleh kita langsung masuk ke dalam sesi quiz.
Okay. Okay.
Jadi kami mengingatkan kembali bahwa saat ini Sage sedang membuka kuis, national quiz untuk Universitas Indonesia bisa terlibat di dalam kuis ini. Kuis ini akan berlangsung selama 1 bulan dan Bapak Ibu punya kesempatan untuk bisa memenangkan iPad, kemudian AirPods dan juga Grab vouchers. Jadi boleh silahkan di scan barcode-nya atau nanti dari perpustakaan juga akan posting poster ini di sosial media. Kami berharap Bapak dan Ibu bisa ikut serta di dalam kuis ini dan bisa memenangkan hadiah yang kami sediakan. Selanjutnya, oke. Kita akan membuka 4 pertanyaan, kemudian ini berkaitan dengan clear framework yang ada di dalam course Sage Campus. Kalau tadi kita membahas gitu ya, clear framework itu terdiri atas concise, kemudian logical, explicit, adaptive, dan reflective. Nah, pertanyaan-pertanyaannya akan berkaitan dengan clear framework. Saya akan mengajukan pertanyaannya, kemudian Bapak dan Ibu boleh lekas-lekas angkat tangannya untuk menjawab pertanyaan dari kuis tersebut. Apakah Bapak dan Ibu siap? Oke, kalau gitu pertanyaan pertama, di dalam clear framework, apa yang dimaksud sebagai adaptif?
Ya. Yang mana ya, Pak?
Number one, the adaptive refer to changing prompt based on previous AI responses.
Oke, jawabannya betul. Yang pertama adalah changing prompts. Boleh beri tepuk tangan. Selanjutnya, Ramda. Oke, pertanyaan kedua. Pembuatan prompt yang reflektif melibatkan
Jawabannya analyzing AI responses to improve future queries.
betul sekali. Jawabannya adalah analyzing AI response. Oke, siap-siap masih ada 2 pertanyaan lagi, sangat mudah. Yang selanjutnya adalah di dalam clear framework, logical ini menjelaskan terkait
structuring prompts with a clear and coherent flow of ideas.
Jawabannya betul sekali, structuring prompts. Oke, selanjutnya pertanyaan terakhir. Which scenario best demonstrates the use of the clear framework? Jadi di dalam clear framework ini apa yang paling scenario apa yang paling jelas yang paling pas menjelaskan tentang clear framework?
Okay, crafting a detailed prompt after initial figure response.
Jawabannya betul sekali, crafting a detailed prompt. Tepuk tangan sekali lagi Baik, sekali lagi itu dia tadi kuis yang sudah kita lakukan terkait dengan clear framework. Kemudian juga kami ingin ucapkan terima kasih banyak kepada Bapak dan Ibu, juga rekan-rekan yang sudah hadir dalam sesi hari ini. Kami senang sekali melihat antusias dari Universitas Indonesia, sebanyak 350 peserta mendaftar. Kami harap kolaborasi antara SAGE dan juga Universitas Indonesia dapat berlangsung. Dan jika Bapak Ibu punya pertanyaan lebih lanjut, boleh nanti diajukan ke perpustakaan, ke tim pustakawan. Nanti tim pustakawan akan membantu menyampaikan ke kami. Saya kembalikan ke Pak Ramdan. Terima kasih banyak Bapak dan Ibu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, terima kasih Mutiara and Mr. Lim. Semoga dengan acara ini kita bisa mendapatkan manfaat dan lebih memahami bagaimana caranya kita menjadi salah satu kontributor author di Sage Publishing. Baik, terima kasih banyak kepada panitia khususnya Perpustakaan Universitas Indonesia. Terima kasih juga kepada Bapak Ibu yang sampai dari pagi sampai dengan hari ini dengan sabar mendengarkan dan mencermati dari pembicara kita pada hari ini. Kita akhiri sampai dengan di sini atau ada tambahan mungkin dari bagian perpustakaan? Tidak ada. Baik, kita akan akhiri sampai di sini. Kurang lebih